Romans 9, verse 33. God warned them of this in the scriptures when he said, I am placing a stone in Jerusalem that makes people stumble, a rock that makes them fall. But anyone who trusts in him will never be disgraced. Now, that was a reading from a letter that the Apostle Paul had written to the Romans. Now, in this specific passage that I read, Paul was giving a lowdown on the people of Israel's unbelief, ultimately comparing them to Gentiles who don't need to follow God's standards and were made right with God, but people of Israel tried to follow God's standards and came out unsuccessful. And in the verse that I read, God speaks about how he placed a rock in Jerusalem that will stumble people, but anyone who believes in him and leaves it all to him will not be disgraced by it. Now, what does this ultimately tell us? Well, the trials and tribulations can be taken as that rock that God had placed in Jerusalem. And I frankly think that this rock is evident in all of our lives. And a lot of people are disgraced by this rock because they want to follow God's standards so much. They just want to be a Pharisee, telling people what to do, telling people what's right, telling people what they think is right by the Lord, instead of following their faith that propels them towards right living. So in turn, they are stumbled by this rock that God has placed in front of us. But he said if you believe in him, you will not be disgraced by the rock. This trails back to how when God said to Moses that the rock will come out water if you just speak to it, but Moses decided to strike it a second time. This shows that Moses dismayed faith and decided to just follow an instruction that was beforehand, thus leading to God saying, nope, you're not allowed in the promised land. So you see, it's mistakes like this that will cause you to stumble over the rock, but if you lay all of your hardships and your faith in him, then you will not be disgraced. So take the path of relationship instead of religion.